Conklin, known as the Tough Man Award. The Conklin may be the most difficult hunting milestone to achieve. Hunters with aspirations of holding the Conklin must push the limits of body and mind and canvass the globe for the most difficult of big game species. They must stand toe-to-toe with dangerous animals, climb into the realm of mountain sheep and goats, challenge frigid Arctic ice, equatorial rains, river torrents, and searing desert heat. The Conklin Award was conceived by a small group of hunters who felt the need to honor the legacy of their friend, Dr. James Conklin, a man who not only enjoyed big game hunting, but a man with a passion for the tough hunts.
As great a hunter and conservationist as Dr. Jim was, there wasn't much left other than his Weatherby Award, his record book accomplishments in SCI, and his service record in SCI. We didn't want to see this be the end. Let's create something, and we'll call it the Conklin Award. And it was actually the award that preceded the foundation.
The Conklin Award criteria was set to include only the toughest animals. By squeezing down the record book, only animals that were dangerous, cunning, or lived in remote areas were included. Animals were assigned a numeric value based on difficulty, and the formal award application was established. Rules were also set as to how this award would be administered. After the success of that first awards night in 2002, the founding group of Rex Baker, Dennis Campbell, Bruce Keller, and Philip Repepe got together to lay the groundwork of what is now the Conklin Foundation. Bruce Keller penned the mission statement. The Conklin Award recognizes the world's greatest active hunter who pursues game in the most difficult terrain and conditions, while abiding by the highest standards of ethics and fair chase, and is a strong participant in wildlife conservation. The initial endowment benefactors of the Conklin Foundation include Jerry Brenner, Tom Hammond, Alan Smith, Phil Repepe Sr., Alan Sackman, and Ricardo Longoria.
The list of the Conklin Award recipients include the most respected big game hunters in the world, including Donald Cox, Gary Ingersoll, Jesus Urin, Pete Papik, Dr. Bob Spiegel, William Edward Poole, Craig Boddington, Larry Higgins, Tom Hammond, Ken Barr, Pepe Madrazo, Edward Yates, J. Allen Smith, Renee Snyder, Jim Shockey, Alexander Egorov, Jay Link, Alan Sackman, Bela Hidbegi, Sergei Yastrozemsky, and the 2023 Conklin Foundation Award recipient, Dr. Bradford Black.
I was born in Fort Bragg, California, so the northern part of California. And in that town, either you fished or you cut down redwood trees. That was our industry. It was about 5,000 people, and my dad was a lumberman. My hunting probably started when I was about 4. My parents bought me a butterfly net, and I used it to catch everything, frogs and snakes and fish and, insects and stuff. And then we got my dog Freckles when I was 7. We were always out doing stuff, so that's probably where my things started. Then when I was 13, when we moved to Arkansas, I hunted a squirrel with a single shot 410, and got one squirrel that day, and that kind of started my hunting. And then when I was 16 and had a car, then I could drive out in the country and hunt all the time on the weekends with a couple of buddies.
A love of nature was instilled early in Bradford's life. As a teenager, there was something else that started to develop. A grit, a determination to be better, to do better. This led Bradford to a journey in the medical field.
Did my medical school at Arkansas and then my residency at Kansas, and then my wife is from Youngstown, so we moved up to this direction, and so I've been here 34 years now, and I started solo. You know, most people don't do that, but it's a small town. They need another urologist, and so I just started a solo practice. I've been married to my wife Sharon now for 40 years. When I met her at the disco on a Saturday night, in fact, she was turning 23, I think, you know, the next day. And so anyway, so I danced with her some and talked, and she wouldn't give me her phone number or anything. I just knew she lived in the dorm. She was a nurse student, and there was one dorm on our campus there. So the next day, I went to that dorm and started knocking on the doors. And there were like 12 stories. She was the third door.
Brad and Sharon built a wonderful life together. Over the years, they brought 5 beautiful children into the world and built a successful medical practice. During that busy time of their lives, the urge for wild places had to be put on hold.
I didn't have time to do anything for a long time, so I got my first partner in '97, and so that made a big difference as far as I could be gone, and there was somebody who was sick, you know, there was still continuity of care. So the first hunt I ever did was a whitetail in Saskatchewan, and that was it, just one hunt that year. And then the next year I did a mule deer, and then I thought, well, I'm gonna start doing these animals I read about all these years, like a moose and pronghorn, and then I did a stone sheep hunt. I didn't even know what a stone sheep was. You know, we were out in the middle of nowhere. I think I was 16 hours from horseback from the nearest dirt road, and we were way the hell out there. That was a backpack and a horseback hunt. And then I just did that Marco Polo the next year. I'd read about that, and then the next year I went to South Africa, and that's when I started really doing a lot more.
That line is a huge understatement. For the next 20 years, Bradford Black heeded that ancient call. He has hunted 6 continents at a feverish pace in search of many of the most elusive animals in the world. A few days of hunting can be a crash course in grit and determination. A few decades of hunting is a doctorate in what it means to lead an amazing life. Brad's accomplishments in the hunting world are extraordinary. Equally extraordinary is his ability to mentor and help other hunters.
What drives Brad to do these hard hunts? I think it's partly a sense of accomplishment. I think Brad's very accomplished in life, obviously. He's a wonderful family man with strong core family values. Success, his occupational profession, his accomplishments with people. He's a great friend, and he's a great friend to a lot of people. I think another part is his pure love for hunting. His chin's always up, he's always got a great attitude, never accepts failure.
I don't think I really think about how tough it is. I just think it's a species I want, and I do the hunt. So I don't care if it's tough or not, I'm just gonna do the hunt. So I did that Dall sheep hunt. It was a backpack hunt. And the first day we walked out about, I'm gonna say 6-hour walk out. So the next day we moved camp and climbed this one mountain and saw some great sheep on the top. And it was getting dark by the time we saw them. The wind was blowing and the snow was starting to swirl. And I said, I can't take this shot. It's too hard. It's like a 500-yard shot. And the camp was about a 5-hour walk back. And so I said, we just need to stay on this mountain. So we slept on the mountain, or tried to sleep on it. And with the snow and the wind, and we had nothing. You know, we just had the clothes on our back, and we had enough plastic to kind of cover us so we didn't get the snow on us, but that was a pretty miserable night. Well, next day we woke up, circled around and found the sheep, and I was able to get, nice sheep. Yeah, that Kodiak bear hunt was a very, very difficult hunt. We had such severe weather that we didn't get out of the camp for 6 days, out of the tent We were in the tents for 6 days, and one day I told the guide, we have 0 chance in the tent, 1% on the mountain. Let's just go up and look. And it just snowed and sleeted on us, and rained and hailed, and the wind was blowing, and it's just, you know, I thought that was probably stupid, but we eventually got a bear at 4:30 on the 15th day. You know, when I took my brother to Tanzania, that was a great trip. We were together for 28 days, so we had a lot of fun, and that was my first real wild hunt in Africa. I know there's people want easy trips, and there's others that, you know, they'll put up with whatever it is, and I pretty much will put up with whatever happens. I just want to try to get my animal, and I'm not going to complain too much if the food's not right or whatever. I just want to make sure I get my animal.
And years from now, what's Brad going to be remembered for? Certainly, yeah, the Conklin, the Weatherby, the Pantheon, whatever award he won, but what I think he'll really be remembered for is him being a mentor to the hunting community. You know, just his participation in these awards and how it furthers our conservation efforts, how he pushes us, other hunters, to maybe hunt something we wouldn't have thought we, would hunt, or hunt somewhere we weren't comfortable with, or just hunting harder or hunting longer. You know, I think it's things like that that just being around him drives us forward, moves us forward.
What we do, we think is normal. Not everybody else thinks it's normal. We gather memories and make stories about things that other people can't even imagine. We go to countries and see things. We see the best capital cities, and we see the best of the wilderness. I like to think that the person that dies with the most stories wins. Dr. Brad has, to give you an example of his dedication, collected 58 species in 2021 that all were recognized by the various awards, not counting many of the subspecies that he collected. He's the first person to win the Conklin, the Weatherby, and the Pantheon all in one year. I'd like to present Dr. Brad Black.
Nothing like watching myself age 60 years in 8 minutes. First, thank you for supporting the Wild Sheep Foundation. I'd like to thank the Conklin Board for selecting me for this award. I've had an amazing 25 years of hunting the world. I'd also like to thank my wife for supporting me. Thank you.